Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about mock data generation CLI, which our team built called Smock-it. But before we go ahead, let's do a quick intro. I'm Abhinav Gupta. I'm founder of Concrete.io and a Salesforce architect. Joining me is Akshat. Akshat, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I am Akshat Surana and I'm currently working as a consultant at Concretio, and we are excited to today present you Smockit, which is a CLI plugin. So yeah, let's get started.
Perfect. So I'm sharing my screen. Okay, yeah, it's visible.
Yeah.
So the goal, everyone, is we started with the free in mind. By free, it's also open source, and we are keeping it free as well. And again, this tool is trying to save time for QA engineers or anybody who's trying to generate mock data. Before we go ahead, I would like to thank everyone who is watching the video and also thank all 400 of our active users. We gained these users without any heavy marketing budgets and everything in just, I think, 2 months of time spent. And I'm also grateful to our engineering team for 4 releases, which we did in last 2 months. So that means we are shipping regularly. We are listening to feedback which we are getting from users. And with that being said, let's quickly see the agenda. We will start with the key challenges faced by QA engineers. We will take a Smockit overview, what the tool is all about, what are data generation templates, a bit about Mokaru, and then it will be mostly demo, which is the major part of this recording, like different features, different parts, how you generate templates. I think you already met me and Akshat. Divi is the guy who bought the idea and he's leading the team very actively. So thanks to Divi as well. Okay. So now coming to key challenges, I think the first one and the bigger one is somebody is paying for paid testing tools to generate mock data and they are still not getting the desired ROI, and it's actually 70%. So these people are struggling with, I think, probably the other challenges which are mentioned in this slide. Like people want to generate conditional data, so 68% of these people want to do that, but they're actually finding this is too complicated to do even with their paid testing tools. And then we know that relationship handling is very tricky in test data or mock data. And there are many QA teams, which the number is approx 65%. They struggle with the relationship management issues. So probably that's what is building up this 70% number. That despite paying, they're not getting the desired results. So with our demos, we are quickly trying to show you how this CLI can help you go around these challenges. With that being said, I would like to pass it over to Akshat. Akshat, why don't you give a quick rundown on what is Mockit?
So first of all, Smockit is basically nothing but an open source CLI plugin. So we have built it completely upon the SFDX CLI structure, and upon this architecture, we have created this plugin such that it is GDPR and CCPA compliant. So all the data which it is generating uh, are privacy compliant, as well as the idea is to make the test data generation process very streamlined and smooth. So yeah.
Right. And you mean privacy in SFDX CLI. So for everyone, we are not storing your passwords at all. We are relying on SFDX to do the authentication, authorization, and all credential storage. And again, all the test and mock data sits on your machine and probably the Mokaru if you are using that integration. But we are not touching up like exporting your data to any third party server. And again, all of our source code is available on GitHub, so you can anytime check it. Let's keep moving, Akshat.
So yeah. uh, okay. Going ahead, let us discuss about the templates. So templates are nothing but they are like a kind of rule set, or you can say guidelines which tell this market on how it needs to generate data for certain kind of objects, as well as which all fields it need to populate while generating the record data. And apart from this, the best part here is that it is a simple JSON file, so you can use it again and again. So basically it is reusable, as well as you can use it as a one-time effort, because once you create this JSON file, you can upload it onto your Git or GitHub, and then you can use it across your team. As well as the best part which I feel here is that it is very simple to create, so you don't need to create it by getting onto the JSON file. Rather, we have one more separate command, so you can use that command, and you will have a quick questionnaire on your CLI, and upon answering that, the template would get generated. So yeah, this was like an overview of the templates which we are going to use further for our demo purpose.
Yeah. So for, I think, layman's, basically template is the lifeline of the CLI. And if I try to put up an example like opportunity and opportunity line item, or price book entries, these can be two templates and probably same template also, right, Akshat?
Yeah. So like it basically depends on the use case you want to follow. Either you can go ahead with one single template, or if you want to generate data separately for these objects, so you can put them in separate templates as well. So yeah.
Great. And the reason we are keeping it as JSON file, these JSON files are part of your SFDX project structure, the same force.com app and that whole directory structure. So you can commit them into your repo so that other developers or engineers or QA team members can have a look and reuse the same on their local machine. And this also makes it easy to integrate in CI/CD flows, where a headless CI flow can use the same JSON file and use the same CLI plugin for Smock-it to generate test data in the backend flows as well.
Yeah.
And with that, I think let's see some action about template section.
So yeah, let us talk about how the template actually look like. So to demonstrate the same, I have created one more JSON file for this contact s object. So before heading on to that JSON file, let us try to understand how it would look like. So first of all, we have the fields to consider part. This has all the fields which we want to hard code or which we want to explicitly consider while generating the records for contact s object. Going further, we have the fields to exclude. It has all the fields which you need to exclude while generating records for specifically contact as object, as well as there might be some fields which would be left out even after defining the fields into fields to consider as well as the fields to exclude sets. So here we have this boolean flag which is pick left fields. So when you set it to true, it would generate the data for all the fields which are left out. So yeah, now let us head on to how the template looks like. Let me switch my window. So yeah, like is the VS Code window visible?
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah. So basically here I have created one template which resides into my datagen folder, and in the templates folder itself, this directory structure is directly created by our own CLI plugin. Going further, we have the template name, and then we have the namespace to exclude. So if you want to exclude the fields which belong to any specific namespace, then you can mention them here. Then we have the output format. In this we have direct insertion, which directly inserts all the generated records into your Salesforce org. And then we also support two more formats, which is CSV and JSON. And then we have, you can say, a template level definition for the count as well as the language. So here I have set the default count to 1 and the language to English. Apart from this, we have a localized set of rules present for each and every S object. So for reference, here we have taken the contact S object, where I have set the count to 10 as well as the language to English. And apart from this, I want to exclude a kind of field which is facts, and all the fields which I want to consider, I can mention them here. And since I wanted to hard code these fields, I have added those values which I want my system to pick in this array. And since all of these fields are a part of dependent picklist, so I am putting dp hyphen so that Smockit can annotate the same, that these fields are a part of dependent picklist. Apart from this, I want that all the fields which are left out apart from these values, I need to pick them and handle them as well. So I am putting this flag as true here. So basically, whenever I will generate data using this template, it would give me an output of 10 records for the contact as object. So yeah, this was like about the templates and how the
And
templates
Akshat,
look like.
here we can have multiple objects, and maybe we can change the number of records, like count per object also, right?
Yeah, so basically here you can have multiple S objects, and even if you don't define the S object here on the S object level, it would by default pick the values here above from the language and the count fields.
Perfect,
So yeah,
perfect.
so let's get ahead with our PPT. So now before we go on to our demo to generate the 10 contacts directly into your org, let us discuss how the schema is looking like. So basically we are going to generate 10 contacts for directly into our org, and this contact field has a lookup to account, which is a required field, as well as we have created one more lookup further to the grandparent account as object, which is present on the account object. And also this contact has a lookup to contact itself. So let us check how the demo would look like. Okay, let me open up the terminal. So I think the terminal is visible.
Yeah, I think it's good.
So all I need to do is that I need to write a simple command, which is sf data generate. Then I need to pass the template name, which in my case is demo data template. And then I have to pass the alias or the username for the org, which I have authenticated with this CLI. Please note that I have already put in the API key for Mokaru here itself, as well as I have authenticated this org beforehand for the demo purpose. So now, first of all, what our CLI does here is that it validates all the object as well as the fields which are defined in the fields to exclude and fields to consider with the authenticated org. So if there is any error here, so it would show it here on the runtime only. And then we get both the outputs which were defined here, which was JSON and the CSV files. And apart from this, I have gotten all the IDs for the data it has generated. So like since there was no contact as well as account present in the org, what it did was that it handled all of these fields as well as it created an account. So here we handle the relationship in a three-stage manner, where first of all it checks your org whether or not there is an account present in your org. So if we have account present, then it would pick up accounts from that part. Secondly, if there is no account present, it would navigate and find all the accounts which are present in your org. And third part, where it tackles the same for the grandparent, and this relationship handling we are doing it up to 2 levels. So let me show you the org where we have generated data. So like this was my org which was empty earlier. Let me refresh it up. Now, as you can see that we have generated 10 contacts, as well as we have one more contact which serves as a lookup for all 10 of these contacts. Now let us navigate to one of these contacts and see how the data has been populated. So as you can see, once I navigate to the details of this contact object, uh, the name has been populated at some values. Then we have one account which it has generated for all of these contacts since it was not present in my org. So this is the account which it has generated. And also note that it would generate your account with all the required fields only. And since all of this data is might look realistic, but all of this data is GDPR and CCPA compliant, so all of this is probably generated as a mock part which has been given by the Mokaru itself. So like this might be an concatenation of your contact's first name as well as the last name, and this alias is present due to the company name which we have used here.
Right. So on Mokaru side, Akshat, is it a paid tool or is it a free tool?
It is basically a kind of freemium tool where you have a limit for generating 1,000 records. You can say 1,000 set of lines per day, and after that it is paid. And also we are working upon our independent data library so that we can remove our reliance from Mokaru itself.
Great. So as of now, you can say that it's 1,000 records per day free, and beyond that, if somebody has a requirement, they can purchase a license.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So let's talk about how we are handling the addresses as well. So as you can see that if it picks up a value for the state as Beijing, so it would also have the country as China. So all of these fields are also relevant to one another. So whenever you are populating any address fields on your S objects, you don't need to worry about whether the values would be related to each other or not. Also apart from this, it also handles the dependent pick lists. So this is one of the key USPs which Smockit serves to its user, where you can define and put the values for each of these fields, and you would get the data generated according to that. So yeah, like this is what the generated contact looks like. Apart from this, we have also generated the account. As you can see that all the 10 contacts which we have generated are related to this account only. And since there was no account present in the org, our CLI explicitly created this account. And this would have only required fields populated. So as you can see that we had one required field which was grandparent account. And to match this, it has also created one record for the grandparent account. We are supporting the relationships up to a level of 2, so that because post that we would be facing errors related to circular relationship. So that's why we have handling till the level of 2. So yeah, let's move on to the features which
Okay.
we have.
Akshat, I think let's just quickly recap what we saw. So we saw that we have normal field data generated, and that's close to realistic because we are using Mokaru. You handled pick lists like state, country, and those pick lists, and those are matching the right states to right cities and countries. And then we handled three level or two level of relationship: contact, account,
Yeah.
and the grandparent.
Yeah.
And this is all done by the simple template file which we saw so far.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, everyone. So at this point, if you have any query, please drop a comment on the video. This is a recording, but let's keep moving, Akshat.
So yeah, let me present the slide so that we can discuss the key takeaways which we have gotten up from the demo.
Yeah.
So yeah, uh, this was a quick demo of how Smockit works. So here are the key takeaways which we were able to take away from this demo. Uh, First of all, we are able to generate 2 lakh records per day. So this is just you can say a estimated number, and this is taken into consider while we are generating 2 lakh records for contact s object. And the best part here is that it was able to generate these 2 lakh records in a time span of around 10 to 12 minutes. And Also we had this template questionnaire where we were able to generate the template which would be showing up next on how you can generate these templates and also tweak them according to your needs. And also we are supporting direct insertion here. So as you just saw that all of these values were not only giving up files like JSON as well as CSV, we were able to generate data directly into your Salesforce org. Also, the template validation took place, which I showed you when we were generating the data. So it validated all the objects, the fields for which you want to generate the data with your org metadata, as well as the values for the pick list and the dependent pick list which we are entering. And also, you don't need to put up required fields separately. So even if when I put the pick left fields as false, it would pick up all the required fields which are necessary for generating data here. And also, we were handling conditional as well as relational data.
Okay. I think one thing we have to emphasize, Akshat, is validation. By validation, you mean like if a field name or object name goes wrong, so that's got or that's corrected or warned by the CLI. What's the behavior?
So yeah, basically on the runtime, whenever you generate the data, it first of all checks your template, and then if you have any issues, like if the S object is already not present in your org, so it throws an error at that moment only. And apart from this, we have a separate command. So if you are not generating data directly into your org, you can validate it beforehand, and at that point it would be giving us all the warnings whether the fields or the S objects are present or not. So yeah.
Perfect. And I think the JSON and CSV example can be useful in case somebody still wants a small set of data, get it corrected, and maybe stored in Git repo or do something else about it. So we support that kind of generation as well, right?
Yeah,
All right, perfect.
so let's get ahead in our demo. First of all, we have a little comparison of the existing tools which are present in the market as well as what Smockit is able to serve. So I won't be discussing all of the points, but the best part here is that we are able to handle relationships. Uh, since other tools, we need to first of all generate the parent, you can say parent records data, and then we need to pass the reference here in the child object. But with Smockit, you can create it on the fly, and it would take up all the fields as well as all the data for that parent object. And if any record is not present for that parent object, it would generate it directly into your org. And apart from this, we are also handling the dependent pick list, as I showed you just right now. And we are also tackling the required fields directly. So like these were a kind of USPs, you can say. And the best part here, what I feel, is that it is a simple CLI plugin. So anyone who is using the Salesforce CLI, it is just built on that architecture. So it is very handy and disposable while you want to generate the data.
Perfect. Only one thing I would quote everyone here. See, as this is a recording, and we have done our best due diligence to compare Snowflakery, Mocky, and GenRocket with Smockit. In case of any inaccuracies in this test data, we apologize in advance. But our only aim is to show out the features of Smockit and always refer to the best and latest on internet to get any comparison.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get ahead. Uh, Now, before moving ahead of how we want to build it or what would be the next steps, let us quickly show how the templates are being made or how the templates are getting created. Okay, so let us talk about how the templates are being created. As you can see that we have the datagen directory where all the templates reside in the template folder. Now let us check on how we can generate our own template. If we want a default template, then we can definitely pass the default flag along with the command template in it. This would initialize a template directly into our org. But since we want to create our own customized template here, I am not passing the hyphen hyphen default flag here.
By the way, Akshat, this is the first time activity also once you install the plugin, right?
Yeah. So like once the plugin is installed, after following a few simple steps, like just installing the plugin and setting the Mokaru API key into your environment, we are all set to go. And all of these steps you can, like these two simple steps, you can find it in our documentation, as well as we have a demo video for the same. So yeah, let's continue on how you can provide a template name here. Let's create a template which is named maybe opportunity template. Okay, so since the opportunity data template already exists in our system, so it shows that whether we want to override that or not. So let us create a new value for that, which could be one opportunity data template JSON. Since my org does not have any packages installed, so I don't need to care about the namespaces here. So I'm continuing with it. Now we have three output formats. First of all, if I want to create directly into my org, I can go ahead with DI, as well as we have JSON and CSV formats. So let's pick all three of these. Apart from this, currently we are supporting the English language, and in future we wish to expand it to other languages as well. Now let us set the value for which the number of records we want to create. Apart from this, if we can pick up the objects, like since I want to create it for opportunity, maybe I would like to create account as well. Do I want to override the values? Yes. First of all, in the opportunity, I want to create 10 opportunities, and I don't want to exclude any fields or consider any of the fields separately. But do I want to pick all the other fields? Yes, definitely. Then going ahead, I also want to override the value for account. For account, I want the number to be one only, because let's create only one account for all of these opportunities. And then in the fields to exclude or fields to consider, we don't want, but we want to pick up all the fields. So I'm setting it as true. And I don't want to override any other values. So let's continue. Now, do I want to validate all of these values with my org or not? I can do it here as well, and we have a separate command. And also, while generating the data, we are doing it on the go. So let's continue. Let's see how the template is looking like. So yeah, here we have the namespace to exclude set as a null, as well as we have the output formats, language and count, which we just created, as well as we have the S objects, and this was set to opportunity. And apart from this, we are generating data for the account itself. So yeah, we have these values set as well. And the best part here is that I can either tweak this JSON directly from here, like I can change the values to 2 or 3 or maybe any value directly here. And if I'm still a little novice or not confident on that part, so I can use simple files or commands as well, so to edit these values. So like suppose I want to upsert a field here in the fields to exclude part. So what I'd do is I would quickly write sf template upsert, pass the template name for which I want to upsert the value. Then maybe I need to change the fields to exclude part on the S object. So I would pass opportunity here, and I want the fields to exclude to have the facts field. Now, as you can see that quickly the fields to exclude part, the facts field has been excluded, and it has been set into this template itself by using this simple command, which is sf template in upsert. And to learn more about this command and whatever we can do with this command, what you can do is you can simply use the help tag, which can be sf template upsert hyphen help. So this will give you all the values or the flags which you can pass directly to toggle all of these values and upsert the values on the template itself. And apart from this, we can also remove these values using the sf remove command. So let's take into consideration our upsert command only. So now as you can see that from my fields to exclude part, we have removed the fax value here. So yeah, this was how the templates come upsert as well as remove command works. So you don't need to directly change values here. This would also help you r- avoid any errors which might be there if you edit this JSON file directly. And apart from this, you can also validate this template with your org metadata as well. So to do that, let me just quickly add an invalid SF object as well. So I can maybe add a new S object where I can put it as invalid object. Just a second, let me upsert it. Yeah, I definitely want to add it. Now this invalid object is also now added into my org. Pardon for the spelling. Now let us validate whether this is present in my org or not. For this, I have the template validate command where I need to just write on the template name, as well as I have to pass the alias or the username of my authenticated org. So for the demo purpose, I have authenticated this org previously. So I'm just passing the username here.
And again, this is a standard SFDX authorized docs. We are
Yeah,
not.
we are not storing the data anywhere. These are simply authorized in your org only. So as you can see that it shows a warning here whether the invalid object is existing in our org or not. So it has validated this. Apart from this, it has also validated whether the opportunity or the account object was present in my org or not. So yeah, and since this is a warning, because it might be possible at times that you would be generating this object later on in your org. So yeah, we keep it for now, but still we can validate it and you can see the warnings so that you can mitigate any issues during the runtime. So yeah, I think that we are good here. Uh, Let us jump back to the presentation. So yeah, now let us talk about the next step which we want to probably take for Smockit and how we want to build a community around it. So Abhinav sir, would you like to talk more about the same?
Right, right. So yeah, thank you, Akshat, and I think well done on remembering all the commands correctly. This is something happens when the coding engineer and demo engineer is same. Otherwise, people copy paste the commands. So well done here. And coming to this slide, so first of all, yeah, you all are welcome. This is not just our product. We want to grow and build Smockit as a community, and that's the reason we kept it as an open source thing on GitHub. And you can contribute in many ways if you are just providing us ideas, issues, feedback on GitHub. It actually will help us understand what you really are looking for in the tool, and we are excited to ideate it with you. And again, if you are an engineer who knows TypeScript, right? We are using TypeScript
Yeah,
mostly in the. So
yeah,
if you are handy with TypeScript, you know the CLI structure of SFDX. So developers or any QA engineers who are good with code, please submit ideas as PRs, and we are happy to collaborate and take it forward with you. I'm sure this will look good in your resume also. we have a good roadmap and plans ahead to continue building on this tool. So again, lastly, I will say, do your best to influence the roadmap by ideas or by PRs. That's all.
So yeah, and one more thing which I wanted to add, like our team is also committed to work upon the product. So in case you are someone who is from a non-tech background, you can also raise an issue if you find any kind of inconsistency while using Smockit. So our team is also consistently working on making the things better here at Smockit.
Right. And we don't mind bugs. We want bugs because you will try, and every org is different. Every org is
Yeah,
complicated in its own way. So all issues and all bugs are more than welcome, along with ideas.
definitely. So let's get ahead.
And with that, I think I would again thanks Akshat for the amazing demo. And if you are watching it on laptop and you want to quickly scan it, you can scan it. Otherwise, it's very easy to remember. It's linktree/smock.it. That's a short URL which will give you the key links to all the good installation guides, business use case document, which is on GitHub. It will give you a link to share feedback and ideas, and then other document how you can drop inquiries and whatnot. So definitely use this link, and looking forward to watch your comments, your ideas and feedback, and stay tuned for our next release also.
So yeah, and like a quick few links are present also here. Like you can quickly refer to the installation guide or maybe the 10 best use cases for which you want to generate data, which makes it even more easier to adopt our CLI plugin. So yeah,
All right, I think we're good to go. Thank you, Akshat. Thank you everyone for watching.
thank you.